into a function with a name, and you've been able to call that function, and last important thing, you've been able to call that function with different values and successfully get different versions of your drawing, like so. So this one just draws a line. I've got two calls and they both do something. Once you're at that point, you are ready to do some more cool things. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to make it so that when you click, that function will happen. So every element in HTML can listen for what are called events. So the canvas is, we've got the word canvas here, which represents that canvas element. So that is the object I'm going to use, and it has a method called addEventListener. Now I'm just working in CodePen for this quick demo, which doesn't autocomplete, but in Replit you'll get nice autocompletion here. It takes in quotes, so a string, the name of an event. I'm going to start with a click, which is what happens when you click the mouse. And then it takes a function to run when they click. And that function is going to get a special object called an event object. So the event represents the thing that happened. And the event will have various pieces of information on it. For our purposes, we're going to use just something called offset x and offset y. So now I'm going to call my drawSomething function, and I'm going to give it the offset x and the offset y properties of the event. That tells me how far over from the thing they clicked it was and how far down from the thing they clicked it was. Now, assuming that my canvas's width on screen is the same as the dimensions I gave it, so that its style width and its width and height attributes are the same, this is going to result in every time I click, I'm going to call drawSomething. So now I just built a very simple drawing program. I can actually get rid of my original drawSomething calls. And there we go. I'm all done. You should know, you could also, there's lots of other events, so you can look up the event list, or Replit will autocomplete it for you. But there's a double click, so I think DBL click would now require, let's see. Yep, that would make it work on double click, so you could run a function on double click instead of click. Also kind of fun, there's just a mouse move event. So that's going to update so that's pretty fun. We've got click, double click, mouse move, all sorts of things like that. I'm just going to quickly add another. You can have more than one event listener, so you can make as many of these as you want, and you can respond to different actions. So I'm going to make it so that double clicking just clears the screen. So this will say context clear rect, and I could clear, you give it a origin and then a width and a height. So I'm just going to clear the whole screen. My canvas is just 300 by 300 here for this little tiny thing. So now when I click, I get lines, and when I double click, it erases. There you go. That is your beginning to event-driven programming. And the big concept we have here is we can add an event listener, we can give it a name of an event, and there's all kinds of different things, clicking, keyboard, all those things that you could eventually use. And then a function to run when that happens. And this event object is very useful. You could Google, HTML mouse events and see everything that event object has, or use the autocomplete. It's a very handy object with all kinds of cool stuff. And you get this ability to draw now. Very cool.